I was not kidding about doing daily videos. I was actually so excited to come home and record. My mom and my sister going to the gym. Usually I go to the gym with them, but I was like, no, I actually want to sit here and make another video. This is so fun to me. I'm having so much fun experimenting with this new microphone. Like, it really just ups the ante. It really changes the game. I just came back from the beach, as you do in Australia, during January. I caught up with some of my mom's friends and family friends, and honestly, I'm in a much better mood now. I woke up this morning feeling really moody and like grumpy. And I think sometimes as an emotional being in human design lingo, like in the past, if I woke up in a bad mood or if I'm like, ugh, I just don't feel like it, I would be like, okay, I'm not gonna see anyone, not gonna do anything. But sometimes you actually do need to do something or like see people regardless of your mood, and often that changes how you feel. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you're like, okay, fuck this, I want to go home. But I've definitely noticed for myself in the past year of not being so strict with my emotional authority and saying yes to more people and things, that sometimes it does alter your mood. So that's what happened this morning, and now I'm feeling quite bubbly and chatty again. And I had this idea in the car, and I'm like, oh my gosh, can't wait to record this. I want to do a human design roasting today. Roasting, not human design itself, but roasting specifically non-sacrals, but also specifically like manifestors and mental projectors. Because I've been thinking a lot about both of these types and just having more experiences with them, and also realizing that a lot, I would say a lot, but some of my mom's friends that I grew up around or I've known since like basically I was born, I now have their designs, and I have some of their designs, and some of them are manifestors and projectors, and it kind of really like shook things up for me, or just like gave me a new understanding of like, oh my god, like, because okay, this is how I use human design now, is like, and maybe this is how normal people use human design, but I almost use it as a way to just like, it's like pattern recognition, like noticing patterns in certain people who have certain traits in their design. And for me, it just like puts things together, helps me understand other people more, and like, I don't know, it's just like a really fun experiment for me to observe the people I know in my life and to learn through their behaviors or, you know, the way they show up in the world. I'm like, oh my god, this is like actually integrating for me what that design looks like. I don't have to change it. I don't like, it's just like observation. That's my way of dealing with human design. I use it as a way to learn about people through observation, and that's it. And isn't that what it's all about? Awareness. Like, that's basically all it can do for you. It's a little bit useless in the scheme of things, because what do you get from learning about all these different things? That's it. It's just awareness. Anyway, I guess I want to roast the non-sacrals today, and yeah, okay, let's just like, I wrote down a few things, but who knows if I'll touch any of them. Let's begin with some of the non-sacrals in my life. I know, like, that are not my age, like that are like my parents' friends. So I noticed one mental projector, and I just did someone else's design today, and I'm pretty sure they're a ego manifestor. They're either a mental projector, actually they're either a self-projector projector or a ego manifestor. But anyway, these two individuals are literally the most people, like, I don't say people oriented, but the most like extroverted people ever, like where they just don't know when to stop, like ever. Like they're always so busy. And like the thing that I've noticed in general with non-sacrals is that sometimes I can pick people's designs, but often I can't because there's so many projectors or just like non-sacral people that when I did their design, I found out they were non-sacral, but before looking at their design, I was like, they're probably a generator, like, because they're just like busy all the time. But it's actually the non-sacrals that are the busiest people on the planet and literally cannot sit still. And I feel like this shows up differently in projectors versus manifestors. So with manifestors, because they are technically an energy being, they are about doing. Like that is the manifestor's role. Like they do have energy to manifest action, to do what they say they're going to do, to like initiate things, or like literally like when I visualize a manifestor, when I see a manifestor in my like mind's eye, it's like, I wish I could explain this. I wish I could like explain this properly in words, like the visual I have, but it's like they're so self-contained and they're kind of just like doing their thing. They're like, you know, moving through life like a fucking steam train, and they don't really care like who's around them in that process. Manifestors, okay, I wrote this down, which is kind of a roast, but it's not a roast. I mean, it's, you know, what the theory says anyway, but manifestors are not awareness beings, and they have no awareness of the people around them. Take that how you will, but manifestors don't really know how they're impacting the people around them. They kind of like, again, when I visualize them, they're like so self-contained that they kind of just bump along. They like push through life, and like some people really get rubbed the wrong way by that. And it's like really funny. I'm noticing like with my sister, she gets really rubbed the wrong way by a few manifestors that I've known throughout my life, and another family friend who I'm pretty sure is a mental projector. She like, I don't say hates them, but just like does not like them. And it's interesting that, yeah, it's like the people she gets rubbed the wrong way by, like these non-sacrals. And I guess with this manifestor that I'm thinking of, all manifestors in general, manifestors tend to have a very pushy energy. It's just like, I mean, that's what their aura does. It pushes outwards. Get the fuck out of my way. I'm going to do my thing. They're designed to talk. All manifestors have a defined throat. They're designed to yap. They're designed to talk. They have a defined throat. And like, actually, this was talked about at the Human Design conference I went last year. I got to observe a manifestor circle. I have a close friend who's a manifestor, and he was hosting like a manifestor gathering. And it was really interesting to sit and watch as a projector. It felt very unnatural to see all these manifestors together. And that's what my friend was also sharing, that he feels like he doesn't like hosting them because it feels unnatural in a way, even though he's a manifestor. And it's because all manifestors they're designed to impact, and like they're designed to almost steamroll you. And he was trying to teach manifestors to like almost learn the learn the art, if you can even do that. Learn how to not steamroll people, and basically trying to teach manifestors to be more aware of their environment and the people around them, which is inherently unnatural to the manifestor. I know it's kind of crazy to say, but it is unnatural for the manifestor to be aware of their surroundings or the people around them, because they're designed to impact and do and not be influenced by other people. And like when I think of a manifestor, they have their track that they're going on. They have their things that they're doing, and people either jump on board with their direction, with what they're doing, or not. People either get really repelled by the manifestor, or they accept the manifestor as they are and accept that, oh, you know, I appreciate this person, or I like what they're doing with their life, but it's like, it is, you know, the manifestor is self-contained. It is about them. The difference between projectors and generators and manifestors and reflectors is generators and projectors are actually more alike in the sense that they are people-oriented. It's why projectors and generators are often drawn to each other, because they are like, they're more aware of other people. And manifestors and reflectors are not as connected to personal relationships as the generator and projector. They're not as designed to be as personal in their relationships. I don't know many reflectors personally in my life. I feel like I'm still understanding like what they're like. Like I've known reflectors, but I've never had like I have some close relationships, but not like extended periods of time being together around like each other's aura. But reflectors are very impersonal, and it's the same thing with manifestors. And I think it rubs people the wrong way. If you are not aware of human design, if you don't understand auras and how we're different, and you're like, that person's fucking weird, they were paying no attention to me, they just steamrolled, they're pushy, they're controlling, they're blah blah blah, but maybe they have a different aura that's different from the generator, that is designed to be open and warm and enveloping in a very sort of safe, like social aura. And then the projectors are social in the way that they really lock in. I mean, they're still focused on other people. They still can be. I want to talk about this other mental projector in a second, but projectors can be really good listeners, really good, like, you know, the generator coming to the projector with stuff that's going on, and the projector being able to lock in and really see them. So manifestors, man, okay, to go back to my original point, manifestors is a trip because they're non-sacral, which means they don't have consistent availability to use their energy, but they're manifestors, and they're designed to do. They're designed to take action, and they're designed to manifest. So almost every manifestor I know personally and in my life, unless they have some awareness of being non-sacral, they are just the busiest people on the planet, and also so chaotic. Like, manifestors are the most chaotic type when they don't know they're a manifestor. They just like, I mean, I guess that is the like the anger that you feel underneath the surface of manifestors, right? Like, it's this anger of like people getting in my way, or people interfering with my peace, like with what I want to do. Like, that's the interference. That's why they're really not designed to be interfered by other people, but that's what happens throughout their lives. So they develop an undercurrent of consistent anger. But I do notice in the manifestors that I know personally, and in celebrity manifestors that I've observed, like, I know Jennifer Lawrence always comes to mind. I fucking love Jennifer Lawrence so much, but she has this chaotic energy, right? I mean, I don't know, I haven't watched any of her recent interviews, but like, it's this chaotic energy underneath the surface. And also like, yeah, it's the fear. how other people feel around manifestors, like the fear that can arise, like even if it's not conscious, but like an unconscious fear or unconscious like almost reservation or hesitation, is like you never know what a manifest is going to do. You really don't. You can't predict what a manifest is going to do because they're in that self-contained bubble. Like, what the fuck is J-Law going to say? What is she going to do? I don't know. And some people love that. And some people get bothered by that. And I mean this generally to like all manifestors. But yeah, I guess like my roast for manifestors, which maybe is not even that bad of a roast. It's really not that bad of a roast, but manifestors have no awareness of other people. You have no awareness and you're pushy and you steamroll and people get really put off by you because you're steamrolling them and because you're chaotic as fuck. You're so chaotic and you really need to learn how to find your peace. You really need to learn how to create peace. Which, you know, human design says is through informing. I don't know if the anger ever goes away. I can't speak for manifestors. If you're a manifestor, has your anger ever disappeared? Do you feel more at peace? Through informing. And then, oh, there's another piece that was going to come to me. Okay, another observation. But I don't know if this is true, actually. I might need more data, so maybe I can't speak on that point yet. But this is a point that could apply to anyone that is non-emotional. And I'm thinking of the mental projectors I know and the unemotional manifestors. But I feel like you guys are more social than defined emotionals. Not a concrete statement. I'm not like 100% sure, but yeah, it's like unemotionals can be around people more. Anyone want to confirm? Okay, so like I'm noticing these two individuals, one a mental projector, one a ego manifestor, most likely. Also thinking of another mental projector, which I'll get into in another episode. The last guy I was seeing. But I feel like, yeah, unemotional mental projectors, maybe manifestors as well, can like be around people more often than like defined emotionals. Like being more extroverted, as in getting more energy from people, versus like, okay, I think of myself. And also, like, a lot of defined emotional projectors I know is that we actually do need a lot of alone time. Like, we need a lot of time, downtime to process and, like, be with ourselves. And this might relate to more defined emotionals in general. Oh my God. Okay, like, in my family, me, my sister, and my dad are all defined emotionally. And my mom is the only unemotional type. And she's the most social out of all of us. Like, she sees people, like, a lot. Versus me, my sister, and my dad all need a lot of time alone. Like, I think my mom needs downtime, of course, as well. But I think, I don't know, I'm really seeing like defined emotionals need time to see how they're feeling, which I think requires more time alone, versus undefined emotionals constantly around other people because, first of all, you're addicted to the juice. You're addicted to pleasure. You're addicted to new experiences. Why did I say that weird? You're addicted to new experiences. You're addicted to having fun. You're addicted to like, okay, here comes the roast. Undefined emotional people literally just want to feel good all the time and will just chase hedonism and pleasure, and like they just don't ever want to feel bad. And I mean, yeah, you guys do live life on the fucking surface, which is not a bad thing, you know, that is okay. But yeah, I just really see undefined emotionals. Again, this is not going to apply to everyone, just in some of the people I've observed, it really is an addiction to pleasure. And the emotional system rules new experiences, it rules food and sex and like joy and like excitement and passion and need. Now I'm like keynoting all the different streams, but the emotional system is where we experience that richness of life. And so if you're undefined emotionally, you're constantly seeking to feel that sense of aliveness. Because without that, it can feel kind of just like meh. I don't know. Put it down below. This might not resonate with everyone. I feel like I'm very careful now of like giving blanket statements in human design, because I feel like I was conditioned with so many blanket statements, and now I'm like finding the nuance. But again, if you're listening to this, I'm gonna assume you already know how to take what resonates and what doesn't resonate. So that disclaimer being said, if you're unemotional, I imagine, I don't know what it would feel like because I am defined emotional, but I imagine that there is a sense of just like flatness, like, or just like there's not deeper meaning to everything. And like, yeah, I don't even know how to describe it because I don't have a visceral experience of that myself. I'm on that wave, baby. I'm on that emotional chaoticness. But okay, going back to my point, my roast, I really feel like undefined emotionals are more addicted to people than defined emotionals, because defined emotionals are having that internal rich, and again, I don't want to try not to blanket statement. I'm not saying undefined emotionals can't have a rich experience, a rich life experience. In a way, you have more of a rich life experience because you are undefined there, you're open there, you're able to experience that center in a way that's more fluid than a defined emotional. Like, I have my fixed emotional process that is going on inside of me. Like, I have my own sense of pleasure, and like, yeah, those feelings are generated within. Versus undefined emotionals, you're always searching for a feel good. You're always searching for something to make you feel anything. So like undefined emotionals, as I said, like food, pleasure, experiences, sex, fun. Like, I really see, especially the undefined sacral plus undefined emotional, I think get the most addicted to all of those things. To excess food, excess sex. I feel like I know, I can count at least two, either previous or current sex addicts who are undefined sacral and undefined emotional. But I don't know if I see the same thing in undefined sacrals plus defined emotional. I don't know, get as addicted to those stuff. Not saying it can't happen, can definitely happen, but yeah, the undefined emotionals addiction to people and not being able to stop, I think, is far worse than defined emotionals. And okay, roasting. So the two people I'm also thinking of today, and there's more people I can add. There's like 4 people I'm thinking of right now who all have defined heads and ajnas. Actually, one of them is a mental projector, I think, with just 4323. But anyway, all of them have defined ajnas, mental definition, and most of them defined heads. And these people, like, I think it's just so funny. You can just feel it as a frequency. I mean, I think in general, anyone with a defined head and ajna, or ajna to throat, loves to talk and is like designed to talk. Like, yeah, that's their definition, that's what they bring. But I think as like an undefined head, for me, I'm like very open up here, and like I do struggle still, like being around, like, I mean, even my mom. Sorry, mom, if you're watching this, hopefully not. But like, you are gonna get talked over, and like that's the fact. Like, as like you can't, someone with a defined head and ajna, like, like they're gonna think what they're gonna think. It doesn't mean they're not open to different perspectives. I think that's a misconception. Like, defined heads and ajnas can be open to other people's perspectives in the same way that a defined emotional can be sympathetic, empathetic, can be receptive to other people's emotions. Like, for myself, it's not that I'm not empathetic with like how other people are feeling. I think defined emotionals can be incredibly empathetic with how people are feeling. But it's in a different way than an undefined emotional who's like literally taking that on. So that's my caveat for defined heads and ajnas. But God, sometimes you guys are exhausting. Okay, that's my roast for you guys. You guys are fucking exhausting in the way that you're just like and all of you like to talk. I swear to God, I've never met a defined head and ajna who doesn't like to talk. Blah 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 blah. And I'm just like, oh my God, give it a fucking rest. Like, yeah, I don't know. Love you guys, but also sometimes I'm like, I just need mental peace right now. I just want to think about nothing, and I don't, like, there's always something to talk about with these defined heads and ajnas. When do they ever shut the fuck up? And it's like, if you're an undefined, head and ajna, it's like, okay, like, I was sitting with my one of my childhood friends that I've like known forever, and their mum has a defined head and ajna. My mum has a defined head and ajna, and we're just laughing because we're like, yeah, like, we just put up with parents who like talk for us and talk over us, like, but also like what to do, like they can't help it in a way, but they're both just like yappers. Yap 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 yap. And like, yeah, I don't know if I have much else to say on that. It's a struggle. I think it's a struggle being an undefined third as well, because it's like, I so desperately want to contribute to the conversation sometimes, but there's not an opening. And I think that's actually why I'm really loving doing these YouTube videos again, even though it's only day 2. But I think it is really healthy, feels really good for me to record these, because I get to release that pressure to speak in a way that I can literally just speak freely. Versus, with defined throats, I'm never going to be able to have, like, it's very rare that, well, I would argue, like, never. Mostly with undefined throats, we can have more of that fluidity of being able to actually express ourselves, and not be sort of conditioned by the defined throat. But, yeah. Okay, let's see if there's any final verse that I want to talk about. So I guess I was just talking about like non-sacrals, never knowing when enough is enough. That's not even a verse, it's just kind of a fact. And I'm also laughing that like, okay, a family friend that I grew up with is a mental projector. And they would always come over to our place, like, unannounced, if that makes sense. And, like, me and my sister were always like, oh, and we would, like, go upstairs and hide and just, like, I don't want to talk to people. But they're, like, the most social person I fucking know on the planet. And when I found out they were a mental projector, I was like, what the fuck? Like, I thought they were a generator, but no, it's a mental projector who doesn't know when enough is enough. They're literally sharing the other day that they used to work as a mechanic, and they would work like 14-hour shifts, and then afterwards they would go to the pub. And at the pub, they're like, I can't sit down. And everyone's like, sit down. And they're like, no, I can't sit down. Like they felt like they physically couldn't. And like, that's a great example of a non-sacral, literally like so much energy running through that system. It's like I can't even sit down. Like there's just like zzz, like, and then all these non-sacrals, like the non-sacral, my mom's friend today, who I'm like 80% sure is a ego manifestor, but is otherwise the self-projected projector. But they don't sleep. They sleep like 5 hours a night. Like, and then my other family friend, they were also talking about recently their sleep is like shit. And non-sacrals and sleep, man, it really is a thing. Like having to discharge other people's energy to actually feel rested. And then imagine going like 60, 70 years of your life, like never actually resting, never actually discharging other people's energy because you're just around people all the fucking time. So, yeah. Non-sacrals, get your shit together. Sit the fuck down. Pause. Stop complaining about how busy you are. Stop complaining about how tired you are. Like, stop being so fucking addicted to sacral energy. It's like the generators and sacral beings know when enough is enough. You know, like they actually have a natural completion point. And I think the hardest thing as a non-sacral is realizing you're never gonna feel complete. Like there's never a natural satiation point, and you have to become aware enough to know, like, you know, I think I've had enough. And I don't know if we ever get rid of conditioning. Like I'm always, of course, there's still gonna be times that I am gonna take it too far. I'm gonna keep going even though when I'm exhausted. But I would like to think that I'm better now at being like, you know what? I think it's time to call it quits. I mean, that's the other thing about the sacral, is knowing when to quit. Undefined sacrals, not knowing when to quit. But I do feel like I'm a lot better now at that. So, yeah. That was my human design observations, rants, roasting today. And we'll see if I record again tomorrow. I might want to. This is so much fun. I'm going back to Santa Fe on Tuesday. I'm so excited. As a mountains girl, I really feel the difference between being at sea level in Sydney versus being in the mountains at like 7,000 feet above sea level. Like, it's kind of crazy. I like don't miss the beach. I grew up around water and the beach, and I've not been around the beach for 3 years, and I don't really miss it. Like, it's insane to me. Anyway, thank you for listening to today's podcast, and I will either talk to you tomorrow or the next day that I feel like uploading. Toodaloo. Bye.